A woman wants a doctor to be held accountable because she cannot have children. The Tucson doctor says he had consent for a procedure, but the paperwork is missing. News 4 Tucson, Sam Salzwedel has more in tonight's investigation.
The Arizona Board of Osteopathic Examiners reviewed the complaint and it was dismissed. But the patient's upset because she was never even notified to tell her side of the story.
He assured me that it would be no big deal and it was just like an hour procedure and I'd be in, out, on my way. And so I agreed, and that's just not what happened.
Blaze Weatherwax was going in for what's called a hysteroscopy in D&C. Unchecked on her order is the box for endometrial ablation. According to the doctor, they agreed to add that the morning of the procedure.
The worst symptom, obviously, is not being able to get pregnant and knowing that I'll never have kids, knowing that I'll never be a mom. I mean, that is absolutely devastating.
The Arizona Board of Osteopathic Examiners reviewed the case after a complaint from a nurse at Weatherwax's health plan. In his hearing, the doctor said, "I'd spoken to the patient in the office previously and had given her the literature, so it wasn't that she was just being introduced to this on the cart." The board president said, "I think this is a problem. I think that the consent form the patient was not consented properly." The board vice president asked, "Is lying on a cart on a gurney in a hospital ready for surgery the appropriate place to finalize a decision to have such a procedure?"
No, I would never agree to a procedure that would sterilize me, ever, ever. I mean, not unless I was 50 years old and had 3 kids. You know, then maybe.
Weatherwax was never invited to the hearing to contradict the doctor's story.
I think that it's important that the board review, fully investigate the complaints that they receive and make sure that they get both sides.
The board believed the doctor. The vice president said the issue, as far as the doctor is concerned, is not that he performed a surgery without consent. The question is whether or not the surgery was performed without determining that there was a proper consent form on file. The person who files the complaint is given the opportunity to speak to the board, but in this case, that wasn't the patient. Weatherwax requested the board review the case again, but the board declined. The interim executive director declined an opportunity for an interview since there's no open or pending complaint at this time. If you have a story you'd like us to investigate, email investigators@KVOA.com or call 955-4444. Investigating for you, Sam Salzwedel, News 4 Tucson.